Welcome to the Harper Tech Academy. Today, as part of our Work Health and Safety series, we're actually looking at safety signage, the uses and why they're used and how they're used. So in this mix today for safety signage, we'll actually be looking at the reasons for safety signage. We'll look at the uses and the placement, the types of signs, and then finally the uses of signs within hospitality. I would be guessing that you've never really thought about safety signs and the regulations behind it. New South Wales Work Cover and other government authorities, state and federal, have specific minimum standards for the type and placement of WHS signage in the workplace. And it's not optional, it's the law. So let's actually have a look at the reasons. The first one is to identify hazards. Second, determine appropriate control measures to prevent illness or injury. The assessment of risk, and also advice for all persons who may be of risk. One is, example is a slippery floor. You might walk in and that sign is what makes you slow down so you don't fall over, which is all very helpful. So now let's have a look at the uses and placement. Before we start, a sign is there first of all. Well, what is the activity that the worker is actually doing? What's the hazard that it's trying to reduce? And what could be some of those possible injuries? And from risk assessment, we know that we're actually looking at that likelihood. So let's have a look at some examples. So the first one, can you think of where this might sit? You'll notice that that would sit on the outside of a restaurant as to no smoking. It could sit at the back of a restaurant too, but generally probably at the front. Next one, no entry. Now it's very unlikely that they would put that at the front of a restaurant. It's more likely to sit at a service dock or the kitchen door. And the final one we have here, this would definitely be a safety sign that would be utilized back of house. And this is manual handling. And there are so many around, we never really think about it. This is a very short mix today. We're actually going to just look at a couple of signs. This one you would have seen quite a few times, the wet floor one, very common, very easy, and there's a lot of common sense when it comes to safety signs. Another big one in hospitality is the chemical storage, and this one is showing that we cannot store it anywhere near beverages or food. Personal hygiene is paramount for hospitality, and we've all seen these kind of signs. And remember that most hospitality kitchens will have a separate hand basin, which will have a sign like this on. You know, one of the reasons I shaved my head was because I didn't want to wear a hairnet and I didn't want to wear a hat in the commercial kitchen. But here is a sign that basically makes it very clear that you must have your hair covered before you come into the food service area. Personal protective equipment is also paramount in hospitality. This sign doesn't necessarily relate directly to hospitality, but it's telling you that you need eyewear, that you need your boots, and you also need your high-vis vest, which is very, very easy to see from that. Wow, wasn't that quick? A quick one, but a good one on work health and safety signage. It really is very much common sense, but it is something that you need to know and be able to actually deploy when you're on your work placement. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time at the Harper Tech Academy.